Good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Nothing But Sports with Kent Sterling for Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. Brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, including the wonderful Dr. Mike O'Neill. He's been my dentist the last 26 years. I am never going to another dentist. That's how absolutely thrilled I am with the work of Dr. Mike O'Neill. And the culture of the entire office is fantastic. You'll love it. Call him. Make an appointment. 317-849-2933. Something that we didn't love last night. The Pacers get beat by 9 at Bankers Life Fieldhouse by the Dallas Mavericks. Victor Oladipo trying to get back to where he's being a productive member of this team. Last night, he was 4 for 17 from the field, 1 for 10 from beyond the arc. What we found out through a little bit of research is that when Victor shoots once or more than once per 2 minutes of game action, the Pacers, they're not very good. Just over 500 during his career here with the Pacers. When he shoots less than one shot per 2 minutes, the Pacers almost unbeatable at 40-8. Victor Oladipo, one of the reasons that the Pacers have lost 2 home games in a row. So what do? Well, we have a little bit of discontent, right, about Victor Oladipo. Who do we talk to? Of course, we talked to Victor Oladipo, and we asked him what happened last night.
We made little mistakes. Little coverage mistakes. Our effort definitely could be better on both ends of the floor. But I think we're thinking too much about the game instead of just playing it. And I think when we just kind of figure each other out and just play and, not overthink the game, make the right reads, have each other's back defensively, kind of get that sense of urgency early in the game and keep it throughout 48 minutes, I think we'll be fine.
Is there a way to expedite that, or is that just, reps and games, and it comes when it comes?
Yeah, it's something that obviously that we got to figure out and just do when we get out there. It's just an adjustment period for us. We've had a few already this season, from the beginning of the season to mid-season now. I mean, it's a part of the season. It's a part of growth. It's something that we have to go through, so we just got to get better. And at the end of the day, we can only get better by going out there and just playing, figuring it out. So we'll figure it out.
All right, that's Victor Oladipo talking about last night. Now we talk to the great Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm, what are the challenges during a time like this for you guys?
Just at this point, winning the game, getting that confidence back. We basically got our full team back, minus T.J. Warren. But having Vic back is huge for us. But once we win a game, get a game or two under our belt, then we'll be able to start rolling.
Is this a little bit similar to the beginning of the season where you guys lost 3 in a row and just had to feel each other out and kind of develop chemistry?
It's similar. You've added new pieces. Not as many new pieces right now, really just Vic. And then, me coming back from a concussion, so a few moving parts. But, it's just an adjustment period.
How difficult is that? Vic wants to play as well as he can. He might be forcing things a little bit. How do you deal with that as a guy who's kind of a peer?
No. I don't think he's forcing. I think he's just trying to get in his rhythm. He's being himself. He's aggressive every night, and that's what we want from him. And then it's up to the rest of us, man, to fill in the gaps, to help him get more comfortable on the floor, and for us to pull our own weight as well.
That's Malcolm Brogdon. Myles Turner stopped by. We had some questions for him. Myles, this stretch of the season, does this feel like it did the first 3 games of the season, that you guys are figuring each other out?
In a sense. It's just a chemistry thing that we're trying to get together right now, and it's going to take some time, but, we're going to get it together.
You've played with Vic extensively before. Where do you think he is in conjunction kind of with where you guys are?
Vic hasn't played basketball in a year. People don't understand that it takes time. It takes time. It takes time to recover from 2 or 3 games, let alone an entire year. So he's going to get his rhythm back. He's going to get his flow back. It's going to take him the experience.
That's Myles Turner. We also spoke with Nate McMillan. The first question for him was, what did he see on the tape? What's he seen over this 3-game stretch with Victor being back?
Just disconnect. And I'm saying just a disconnect, but which is huge. Just the rhythm, defensively, offensively, that chemistry we've been talking about building. We just didn't have that last night. A lot of disconnection out there on the defensive end of the floor with our defensive assignments and where we're supposed to be and communicating. So, part of that is communicating. and talking it out, and again, learning and having a feel where each other's going to be and where each other needs to be. So, really, I think the last two games, it's been that. And, I think that's something that we kind of expected with new rotation and adding guys to the lineup and those guys getting a feel for one another on the floor.
Is there a way to hustle that up, that evolution?
You have to be patient. You have to continue to work at it. It's really no different than when we started the season. We started the season 0-3, and part of that was building that chemistry, trying to establish ourselves, and we're going through that again with Victor, adding Victor into the lineup and different combinations, and that takes time. You just have to be patient with that.
What do you feel like clicked after those 3 games?
We started to get more connected out on the floor, on both ends of the floor. We started to, offensively, I think, share the ball. We had good ball movement defensively, more connected out there on the floor, which is what it's going to take with this group and with any group that is out on the floor to win games. We've had a lot of different guys in the lineups, and so it's we're not going to put this on one player. It's all of us being connected out there, and trusting and believing in what we're doing.
How's TJ Warren doing?
He's doing a little better. He's in the protocol. He will not travel with us. We're hoping that he'll go through a couple of things that he needs to address in the next day or so, and we're hopeful that he'll be ready for Friday's game.
Will Vic be making this trip?
Yes.
I assume so.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you decided which game Vic sits out over the weekend?
No, that's something we'll talk about here, and some of that is maybe based off of Warren availability, and if we can get Warren back, we'll look at or if we don't have Warren on Friday, what do we do? So we'll see here in the next couple of days.
Has there been any thought at all to changing Vic's plan instead of 6 minutes to end the quarter, 6 minutes to start quarters?
Well, there has been some conversation that basically I just came out of, that we need to increase Vic's minutes because he's not getting the workload that he was getting before doing his rehab the last month or so. And the 24 minutes or the 6 minutes at a time is not allowing him to get to that workload that they feel he needs to be. So they're adding, we're going to add, another minute to the quarter. So I have 28 minutes. He hasn't even gotten to the 24 minutes, but the 28 minutes, we're going to try to increase his minutes to 28 and, possibly look at maybe starting him because we're trying to we need to get him, they feel we need to get him to that workload that he needs to put on his knee.
That's Nate McMillan, coach of the Indiana Pacers, talking about a whole bunch of things. Interesting to hear him say that they're going to expand Victor Oladipo's window of playing time another minute per quarter, so he's going to be limited to 28 minutes instead of 24 minutes. He wasn't getting the amount of work that his people and that Vic wanted to continue that rehab, and so he's going to be opened up to 7 minutes a quarter. We'll see how Nate McMillan utilizes that, and we'll see how this Pacers team continues to come together. They had figured some things out, right? They were 30-16. And since Victor's come back, they won a game in overtime against the lowly Chicago Bulls. They lost to the New York Knicks at home, and they lost last night to the Mavericks. So there's work to be done to try to get this thing to be seamless, try to get the communication up with the Indiana Pacers. We'll see. That work continues tomorrow night in Toronto as the Pacers take on the Raptors. A couple of really good college basketball matchups for area teams tomorrow night. The Butler Bulldogs, they're going to host Villanova. Anytime Jay Wright comes to town with his Wildcats, it's going to be a special night. They play so hard, and the Butler Bulldogs play so hard. It's a battle of will. The first team to blink is usually the team that loses. I never miss that game. We'll see out at Hinkle. Also, by the way, that game, 6:30 tomorrow night on Fox Sports 1. At 7 o'clock at Mackey Arena, Purdue is going to take on Iowa. Iowa ranked 17th in the latest poll. Iowa's really good. They're obviously better at home. All teams in the Big Ten are. In fact, all teams in college basketball are. Purdue needs a win. Plain and simple. They got to split these next two games. And winning at Simon Scott Assembly Hall on Saturday afternoon is going to be tough sledding because Indiana is a tough beat at Assembly Hall, and Purdue does not score the basketball very well on the road at all. So, and Indiana has this entire week to prepare for that game and kind of figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to approach the rest of the season. This is the last week they're going to have off for the rest of the season, so this is time really to kind of get down to it and figure out who they are and who they're going to be. Tomorrow morning, I cannot wait for Breakfast with Ken at 8 o'clock on Facebook Live, followed by another Breakfast with Ken at about 8:15 on Periscope and on Twitter. It's a show so nice, we do it twice. We'll preview Butler and Villanova. We'll preview Purdue and Iowa. Can't wait to talk to you then. We'll talk about the Pacers, too, and what to expect from them during that trip to Toronto. The trade deadline coming up Thursday. Talking to the media people, nobody sees any way that Kevin Pritchard does anything at the deadline other than maybe dealing TJ Leaf for a second-round pick. Other than that, monkeying with rotation as it exists right now would seem to be foolish. They've got enough chaos as it is. With Victor coming back, they don't need to invite more drama. This is an organization that does not enjoy drama, and so I don't think they'll bring any into its midst by making a deal at the trade deadline. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, 317-849-2933. Join me